guys! So today's video, I'm gonna be attempting to recreate a crispy Brussels sprouts bowl that I traditionally get from a restaurant called Maki Fresh. This is some place that I really like to go pre-quarantine. I used to go quite often, but now that I'm stuck inside and they're closed, there's nothing for me to do. So I decided to go ahead and attempt to recreate it myself. So without further ado, let's get started.
So I'm going to use a rice cooker, an air fryer, a cast iron pan, of course rice, Brussels sprouts, and chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rice into the rice cooker. I'm going to put about a cup in there and just let that cook. Then we're going to move on to the Brussels sprouts. I actually bought 2 packs of Brussels sprouts. I only ended up using 1, so noted. I'm going to go ahead and wash these, and then I'm going to start cutting them into halves. So what I'm doing is cutting the stems off and then kind of peeling off any wilted leaves like that. I don't really want to eat that, so I'm going to go ahead and peel that off, and then I'm going to just cut it into halves. Some of the leaves will come off on their own, and in some instances, no leaves will come off at all. So after all these are halved, we're just going to throw away these extra leaves. We're going to go ahead and put the halves into a bowl, and I'm going to start using some basic seasonings like onion powder, garlic powder, and pepper. You can use whatever seasonings you want to cover these, but I just kind of left it really basic so everything else can take over the flavor. Then I'm going to cover these in oil. You can use spray or olive oil. I'm choosing to use olive oil. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of olive oil and then stir everything up. And then we're going to move over to the air fryer. So I'm just going to dump these into the air fryer at 350 for about 20 minutes. And I'm going to make sure to check on them periodically and turn them and make sure that they get all nice and golden brown. They're going to have like a roasted look when they're done. Now we're going to move on to the chicken. These are organic chicken breasts, and so for me they were huge. So I'm just gonna attempt to like cube and slice these similar to how I would see it in the restaurant. I realized when I was eating it though, I kind of cubed these really big, so keep in mind how big you want these pieces to be. So I'm going to use the same seasoning I used on the Brussels sprouts on these, but I'm also going to go ahead and add some teriyaki sauce. And I'm just going to cover that and stir it all up. Then we're going to move over to the stove. I've had the cast iron skillet sitting on the stove for about 10 minutes with oil inside it, so it's nice and hot. And I'm just going to start adding the chicken to the pan. I started off doing this one by one, and as what happens when you fry chicken, I started getting popped with the grease, so I decided just to go ahead and just dump them all in there at once. I do make sure to go back and make sure no chicken's overlapping so everything can get nice and browned at the same time. While we're browning that too, I'm going to go ahead and bring out the rice. So I took the rice out of the rice cooker a while ago and made sure to go ahead and chill it, because when you fry rice, it works best when it's chilled without all the moisture. Once the chicken's done, we're going to go ahead and add the rice to it and just stir it up until the rice is nice and browned. And that looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off of the eye and put it into a separate bowl and kind of set aside a serving. Don't forget about our Brussels sprouts. They look nice and brown. So this is the rice that I set aside, and I'm just going to add about 2 scoops of Brussels sprouts to that. I tried to make it look pretty and I failed miserably, so I'm so sorry if this looks terrible. So then I'm going to go back and add some more teriyaki sauce on top. I'm also going to add some spicy mayo. It adds a really nice color and it tastes great. And then I'm gonna go back and add a couple splashes of soy sauce, and that's it. I was really excited because it tasted great and it looked really close to how it looks when I go get it from the restaurant. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you try it out, let me know if you enjoy it. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.